Oi, 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 everybody. Welcome back to another video, our first video in about a week of actually live recording these. And today we are talking about the 5.2.0 update that is going to bring the CENOBITE and the skill-based matchmaking, as well as a few other bug fixes. Let's go ahead and dive in. If you guys did not read the developer update that came out the other day, just last week actually, then let me go over some of the changes from the PTB to current for the CENOBITE. They said, we're thrilled to see much excitement for the CENOBITE on a player test build, and we've been watching and reading for feedback very closely. And they said, that said, we've made some changes between the PTB and the release. Please note that this is by no means final. We'll continue to monitor his performance as we do with all new killers and do some fine tuning. So first, we've polished the way chains spawn to make them perform more consistently. We've fixed an issue which could cause chains to spawn between obstacles and corners and immediately break as soon as they would connect. So it sounds like, you know, when you send a chain out as the CENOBITE and it connects, sometimes two chains would connect because three are supposed to spawn. Once you send it out, it connects, three chains spawn, they grab. Sometimes one or two of them just wouldn't connect because of obstacles, or they would just insta break. So they've changed the way that they spawn so that they hopefully almost always spawn in a way that makes them like last longer, which will help some of those like duration issues. Additionally, if a chain fails to spawn, so if there's like no place for it to spawn, the system will now attempt to spawn another chain much sooner. So, you know, instead of it waiting like 2 seconds so the survivor can run away, now it's going to spawn it a lot sooner. Finally, if a chain is broken by the environment or the CENOBITE himself, right, that was a huge complaint, a new chain will spawn considerably faster than before. These changes will make chains much more effective in tight areas with lots of obstacles. So this hopefully will change things like Shack or change like Jungle Gyms, where there's just like really tall walls. If somebody slow vaults, then it breaks a bunch of chains. We'll have to see how this actually pans out, but you guys let me know how that looks. They've also simplified the way the chain hunt works. On the PTB, the number of chains that spawn during the hunt would depend on the number of survivors remaining. Instead, the hunt will now always spawn a cluster of 3, with each chain appearing 3 seconds apart. And they will also have an increasing interval between clusters based on the remaining survivors. This will keep the hunt feeling meaningful without getting out of hands as survivors die. So the way that this feels like it is that 3 chains will spawn, bink, 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 and once you break those, 3 more, bink, bink, bink. And so it'll be kind of these clusters of chains, 3 or a few seconds apart. And then finally, we've decided when to solve the lament configuration is something we want to leave up to you, but keeping it forever shouldn't be ideal. So this is something I did. In the PTB, the survivor carrying the box would have a chain spawn and attempt to latch onto them every few seconds while they were interacting with something. This would slow your progress down, but could be a worthwhile trade-off for preventing chain hunts entirely. We are changing the limit configuration to only pause the timers of other survivors, but not the carrier. This means if the person holding the box neglects it for too long, a chain hunt will start for them only. And this chain hunt is in addition to the occasional chains that spawn while interacting with something, making it incredibly difficult to ignore. My bad. So there are different gateways, tweaked gateway placement to be easier on maps with multiple floors. So if if you have like Gideon, you won't accidentally warp down quite so easily. They added immunity period to chains after being unhooked. So if you get unhooked, you can't be hit by like the CENOBITE's chain within 3 seconds. Added a maximum control time for gateway. So you can only have your gateway out for 6 seconds. Like you can only cast it and have it out just for 6 seconds. So you can't like camp another hook with it or something like that. And to be honest, that's not like a good way to use that power anyway. Added a brief cooldown to solve interaction to prevent spamming. So survivors can't just like spam the solve button and continuously like annoy the killer, because that's irritating. And then they increased the blood points for the CENOBITE scoring events across the board. So all that stuff was changed. They're going to keep an eye on the CENOBITE and let us know what is going on with all of that. If you guys stuck around this long, remember that there are new cosmetics that should be out today. This is from DBD Leaks, and we're going to be looking at, the biggest one is the Chatterer, who is one of several CENOBITEs that are, at least, I've only seen the first Hellraiser movie, but, he was in there. So that's kind of cool, actually, that they have reskinned a different character. And then they have this, which is like, I don't know if this is from something. This is crazy, though. This is awesome. Felix has been done dirty. Elodie and Yunjin look great. Zarina's fine. This Oni skin's kind of cool. The obviously new Leatherface, so this is like a new Leatherface cosmetic. And then Trickster looks interesting. I don't hate this. I don't hate this. We'll have to talk about this later. So there are new cosmetics on there, of course. And then the actual patch notes. Just a few small changes made that you guys could see here. There's a visual update of the palettes, and skill-based matchmaking will be enabled on September 8th. So that is not today. That'll be tomorrow, September 8th. Grades are replacing ranks. So your rank 1, 2, 3, 4, all that stuff, that's going to be going away. So the grades are broken up into 5 groupings: ash, bronze, silver, gold, and iridescent. Each grouping has 4 subgroupings. So those are all Roman numerals, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And current ranks are translated into the corresponding grade. What this all means is that no longer will your rank 1, be the matchmaking thing, right? The hidden skill-based matchmaking, right? The hidden rating is going to be what determines your matchmaking, right? So it just depends on how well you play in a match, but even your grades won't matter. If you're a grade 2, but you're a great player, you just don't play often, then you might get grouped with iridescent 4 or iridescent 2s, all right? So remember that this grading system is not the matchmaking system, and that you being ranked with other people that are outside of your grade doesn't mean that they're bad or you're better. It means that they just don't play as much or haven't invested as much time, more than likely, okay? Grade resets will happen on the 13th of each month, and all players will be reset to Ash 5 for both Killer and Survivor, regardless of previous grade. And blood point rewards are given out when the reset occurs based on your previous grade. It is no longer possible to lose enough pips to lose a grade. So you'll never actually lose a grade. So here's the thing about the grades is that you'll be able to just play the game more and more and more and more, and you'll grade up. And if you get enough to get iridescent 1, then on the next reset, you'll get 250,000 blood points per like side. So for Survivor and for Killer, if you get to both, then you'll get 250,000 blood points. So it's 500,000 blood points a month. So over the course of a year, you're going to get 6 million blood points for free. Just by virtue of playing. So, and they changed Nemesis. They do have quite a few bug fixes with regards to hearing things that you couldn't hear before, or in this case, like when you're phasing a spirit, you couldn't hear people and things like that. So they're fixed an issue that may cause a hitch to occur when using Dead Hard. This is specific to console more than anything, right? So console lag while using Dead Hard should be gone. Fixed an issue that may cause Dead Hard's invulnerability not to coincide with the dash effect. All right, so they're lining that up. Fixed an issue that rarely caused survivors to keep some status effects, such as live speed boost for the remainder of the trial. So a lot of bug fixes, a ton of bug fixes, and that I think is the point of this entire chapter. Is this is a huge bug fix patch that works on a lot of console stuff for you guys that are on consoles, because I do play on console from time to time. So take a look at all this. Be sure you look it over. I'm not live on Twitch today. We will be live on Twitch tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy the update today. Please get some water, unclench your jaws, and I'll be praying to the entity to see you in the next video.